friends, welcome to Tammy's Knitting Podcast. I'm Tammy. Today is March 16th. It's been about 2 weeks since I podcasted last, and it is episode 72 of my podcast. I just wanted to say welcome to all the new subscribers that I have. I appreciate you stopping by. For those of you who have not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you want to. I would really appreciate it. Okay, we have a lot going on today. That's why I kind of wanted to come in and talk to you before it got crazy and there was so much. I've got some new product into the shop. They will be on the website before this airs. And update on some knitting, some acquisitions, a finished object. And that's probably about it. But I figured we'd come in and kind of get it done a little earlier so that it wouldn't be such a long process for the next video that we're doing. And we've gone a couple of places. That's what was the other thing. We've gone a couple of places, so I wanted to talk about that stuff. Okay, so usually when we do a podcast and I have a update to the website, I usually do that first. For those of you who are new and don't know, I have a website, Tammy's Homesteading Crafts, where I sell bags and knitting accessories. All of the information about my projects and the bags and how to get a hold of me will be linked down below in the show notes of the podcast. Okay, so last podcast I had shown a basket that I had made for myself because I was in need of some baskets to hold multiple things around the sewing room, and I was crocheting them, and the yarn that I had was just not very sturdy, and it just didn't, I don't know, they weren't holding up to what I needed them to be. I needed a little bit of sturdier basket. So I showed one that I had made with some leftover plastic pleather that I had, that it was somebody had given me. And I suggested on the last podcast, if you guys really like the basket, let me know and I'll consider possibly figuring out putting some into the website. Well, you guys let me know. And a lot of people really liked the baskets and asked about the baskets and do you have any on the website? And I said, I have not made any yet, but I think I'm going to. So I'm going to show you some of the baskets that I have made. This is one. It's got bicycles on it. So the pocket on the front is bicycles. The piece on the back is bicycle as well. Front pocket, you can put whatever you want in there. It could hold a pattern or anything like that. Well, but anyways, this one has turquoise on the inside, some thick handles. So that is the bicycle one. I have this flip-flop one. Green and yellow and pink, lined with pink on the inside, and it's got the light pink here on the front, and then nice pink and tan handles. Oh, the other thing, that when I was out yesterday, somebody was looking at one of these, and this fits right in there as a basket inside of your basket. So these wrist bags fit right in there easily, and you can pull them out and take your project with you. So that was another thing that was cool with the basket. And the wrist bags, you can take the handles off and they can just be a yarn ball holder for your cakes of yarn. Okay, so we have mushrooms. I paired that with a gold fabric on the inside. And then I have a rust fabric on contrast against the mushrooms there. We got crochet granny squares. We put black on the front of that. This one I did do correctly. This one has pockets. And that's what I was looking to do, but I did the next batch and I didn't do that right. So the pocket fits the notions pouches when I do stitch them down, but I can since they're all put together, I can't do the stitching, but this one does have the pocket. Okay. And then the last one that I have is this one, and it's got blue on the inside of it with black handles. So these will be on the website by the time this video airs, I promise. I say that so that it makes me put them on the website, because I have to take pictures of everything, and I have to update the website, and it's just right in the description, everything. It just takes time, and I put it to the very last minute. So if I say this on the podcast, then by the time this video airs, I have to have those on the website. So that's just why I always say that. Okay, so those are the newest bags that I have to the website. Not a lot. I will probably be making a few more here and there. I've found some new canvas material that I wanted to do, because I put those with the canvas so that they're a little stiffer for instead of just cotton. And they wanted you to, the pattern says to line them with fleece interfacing so that they're puffy. I don't know, I think if I just do my craft interfacing with the canvas, they're nice and sturdy enough, and they stand on their own. I mean, they definitely stand up without any issue. And these will be nice to sit beside you and to work out of. Yeah, a decent sized basket too. But okay, so the next thing that I have been working on, and for those of you who know, I got a laser machine, and I started making some products, trying to figure out what I can make. And I have made some yarn, some needle gauges and rulers. So this is a sock. We have a sweater. We have just a skein of yarn. And then these are double. So you have a skein of yarn for your needles, and then you have the sheep for your ruler. And there's a little hole. These will be connected together so that they go together. And then the same with the llama. It's got your needle holder or needle gauge, and then your ruler there. And this is a llama set. So I have these that I've started doing. They turned out pretty cute. It's a very work in progress machine for me. I will put something in, and I will get 2 or 3 things that look perfect, and then the next thing I put in, same material, same design, didn't change anything, and it just won't cut it right. So it feels like it's 1 step forward, 3 steps back every time I try to do anything with the laser machine. But we're getting there. We are getting it figured out, and it will, once I do, it will be fun, and I will really enjoy it. But the next things that I tried to make them stitch markers, and I thought I had them small enough, but they really weren't. And so I figured, you know what? I'm going to use them as progress keepers, or to let you know when you're on the front or the back of your project. So they're a little bit bigger. Well, they're quite a bit bigger than a regular progress keeper. And I don't know as I have really any dangly progress keepers here. Most of mine are in bags and things. What do I have in this little one here? So, most of your progress keepers are you know, about this, or beginning of round or anything like that. They're about this size. Well, these ones, I thought they looked small, but then when they started printing out, they were actually very big. They were bigger than I had expected them to be. So I thought, you know what? I'm always losing my progress marker when I put it on my project to know where I've left off, especially for working and doing the podcasts. I like to know how much knitting I got done. And I usually lose them. I usually can't find them on my project because they're so little. I usually use a real small marker. And I thought, you know what? These would be kind of cool to have as a marker, or knowing the front and the back of your project. So I've got some giraffes, different kinds of giraffes, and I probably am just going to put 2 in a pack because they're really big and you're not going to need a ton of them. And then I did some bees, and they're really cute. And then some lions, and of course the lions look even bigger than the bees. But yeah, they're just silly lions and different things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do with these. I'm going to put them on, and it's going to be a lever back, like an earring back, so that you can hook them into your project and use them that way. But those are, you know, I don't want to throw away what I've got, and there's nothing wrong with them, and they're very light, so they won't hold down or put weight on a project. Some of the little stitch markers that I have, I don't use them because they're actually kind of heavy. So those are just some of the things that I have actually gotten to work properly from my laser machine. I actually have it going right now. So if you hear humming in the background, that is what you hear. It is working to hopefully do a set of stitch markers. I had it working this morning, so we're going to see. Hopefully we can get that done. Okay, so that is all of the new products that I have on the website. Let's go into our WIP. We only have one. I got my hat finished from my Life's a Showgirl colorway that we had. I used for my goldfish memory. This was the last of it. I literally ran out of all of my colors. So right about just as I got ready to decrease, I ended up getting rid of the variegated yarn. I ran out of that. So then I just held double the orange and the blue. Well, then I ran out of the blue, and I just held ran out of the orange, sorry, and then just held the blue double to do the crown of my hat. You know, usually the crown of my hat's not what, my head doesn't get cold there. It always gets cold by my ears. So I was A-okay with not having the 3 skeins up here at the top of the head. But yeah, this is my little favorite beanie. It's a Dream Day. I think it's called Dream Day beanie or hat. It's a free pattern on, I believe you can get it on Ravelry. I have it in my Ravelry cart, but it's from Red Heart. So yeah, this is my only finished object. Okay. Well, let's go into our works in progress. Stuff that we have. We've got a few less because we frogged some. But I worked on my muscle burl. I know I had just done the short rows, so I finished all of my increases. So yeah, I got about that much done on the muscle burl. Not a super lot, but some. Okay, let's put a stitch marker there so we know where we're at. Progress keeper. Okay, so now we know where we're at with this. So when we have it the next time, we can show how much we've done on it. Okay, the next thing that I know I got quite a bit done on, and that was my other comeback Cardi. This was one of the things that I could work on and not really make a mistake. And I don't think I ever moved my marker because I know I was further into that. I was probably into this section here. So I was talking about this. I got rudely interrupted. I was right here when I went to the retreat. So I did all of that. I'm to the point where I'm going to separate for sleeves because this one I'm not going to make as long as I did the first one. There's 8 of these repeats, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on the 5th one. The 6th one you separate for sleeves, and then you have 2 more when you separate for sleeves. So I'm leaving one out. So I'm separating for sleeves now, and then I will do my front and back. It is going to grow quite a bit, and the last one was just a little bit longer than I like it, but it's a little long. I think I want this one to be more of a shorter cardigan. So that's what I'm going for. I figure, you know what, we're going to try it. This is what we're going to do. But yeah, so I'm to the point where I can separate for sleeves on the next few rows that I do, and I haven't gotten back to it. But I did get quite a bit done on that as well. The next thing that I got quite a bit done on was one of the other things that I started and stopped 3 times. And I finally got it, but I don't know what it was. There was something that I just kept forgetting. Was this artist fiber shawl. Cornbread and Honey is doing a knit along with this. It was a free pattern that came out. The girl, for her 39th birthday, the designer, put this out for free. So I ended up getting it, and I had 2 skeins of yarn, and I figured, you know what, why not? I will work on it. I'll do some of it. Not a big deal. So I ended up doing this, but I had it this far when I went to the retreat, made a mistake, and the first round of rows you hold your yarn together and do front and back, or knit one way and knit back. Then the next row you hold one color, knit knit back and forth, and then the third row you hold the second color and knit back and forth, and you just that's your pattern. You just keep doing that. Well, I realized that, and you slip your end stitch all the way. Well, I realized that on one of my stitches, I didn't get both of the legs of the slip stitch when it was 2 together. And it unraveled. I looked at it and I was like, why is that coming apart? Well, I had missed one of the legs and it just started unraveling. It did it on me twice. So finally, Sunday morning, as I was sitting there, I cast on when nobody was up in the morning, and I just started working, and I was able to figure it out and do it. So this is how far I've gotten. It's basically kind of a mindless knit when you understand what you're doing. But that's okay. You know, that's part of the knitting experience, is to fix it and go from there. Okay, so the next thing that I have done some on, but not a whole lot, but I did do a little bit because I know I moved my marker on this. So I ended up getting about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches done on my Mayma. And this yarn is from Cornbread and Honey. It is her lace weight held with a fingering. undyed fingering. So I actually really love the way it is working out. And I'll move my marker up so that we know where we're at. But yeah. I've got to go 13 inches from under the arms. So I think I'm about halfway there before I have to do the bottom of it. I saw a cardigan yesterday that was on one of the girls at the yarn store had, and it actually has you knitting the collar and button band as you go along, which I think is the best thing in the world, because I really stink at picking up my stitches. I don't get them even, and it puckers or it's too droopy. I don't know. I like that idea. When she was doing that, I was like, oh, I need that pattern, because that is like the best pattern in the world, is to knit that button band all the way across there and have that done. And that way, when you're done with the sweater, you're done with the sweater. So that might be the next cardigan that I do. It's a kind of a cropped cardigan. We'll see. But I like that. Okay, so the very last thing that I actually did some work on, and this was my gingerbread. Let's get that so it's not, I can pull that out. My gingerbread sweater. And I'm doing it, this one is going to be short sleeved, and I'm doing it reverse. So I'm doing a very bold 2 skeins for the whole body of the sweater, but the color work is going to be purple. And I think that's just going to stand out really, really fun. And but yeah, I've been working on this. It's definitely I am enjoying it, but trying to get that done. But this was another one I took, and I ended up having to put markers every time there was a repeat, because at the retreat every morning, because I can't do color work when I've got a bunch of people there. So I would do a row, and then I'd get to the end of the row to start the next one. I was like, what did I just do? That's not right. So I'd have to take it out. So every morning I did my row and took it out. So then I figured I was done trying to do color work even in the morning. And then I sat the other day and I put all of my markers in, so that at least when I get to the end of the marker, if I'm not on, I know it's in that section that I made a mistake, not, at the beginning of the round and I did everything wrong, which is what happened twice. Okay, so those are all the projects that I have worked on this past couple of weeks. My Seeking Solace bandana cowl that I was doing, I ended up taking that out because it's supposed to be done with worsted weight, and I don't use worsted weight yarn. And I didn't go down to a small enough needle size for one, so it was very airy, and I didn't like that. And then I wanted the design bigger, more of the design on the cowl itself. So I ended up ripping that out. It's sitting here, it's caked up. I will get it back on the needles because I do like the pattern. I just, it was not something that I was going to be happy with. So I figured I wasn't very far into it, and I figured I might as well pull it back and restart that. The other thing that I ended up taking out was my Kayla tee, and I really want to get that done because it is a summer top, and I want to be able to wear it this year. It is sleeveless, and that is something that I would like to wear this year as far as when I go places for my knits. But again, I wasn't very far. I had made a mistake, and so I recast it on and redid it all just before I left because, like I said, I had made a mistake. And when I was there, I did a row and I made a mistake. And I'm like, where am I making my mistake? And I couldn't figure it out. So I took it apart, re-knit it all again. And I got to a certain point and I kept making the mistake at the same point. And I don't know what I was doing. So I just decided that I wasn't going to knit anymore on that because apparently I wasn't able to think about knitting that. But those are the other two projects. Oh, and then my Spectre tee, I have not worked on that. I'm still on the increases for the short rows, I believe, in the neck of it. And once I get through all of those, I think I'll be okay. But we'll see. I am definitely going to, I want that done, but at this point it's a fingering weight cardigan or fingering weight sweater, but it is long sleeved. So it's not something that I need to have done right now. I would like it done for the fall, but I got a couple other short sleeve sweaters that I would like to get done. So I'm not really too much worried about that. It will come out of hibernation and I will get it done. Okay, so that is all of my WIPs and knitting. I have not started anything new. I do have a knit along that starts April 1st that I am looking forward to casting on, but I would like to get something off the needles before I cast on another shawl. We'll see. Maybe I can get one of my other shawls that I have off the needles, or my comeback Cardi could get off the needles, just to try to downsize the number of projects that I have. Okay, so yesterday I got some acquisitions. I ended up going to Cornbread and Honey. It was her 11th birthday for her starting her business of dyeing yarn. So she ended up doing a colorway called Chasing Rainbows, since it is very close to St. Patty's Day and everything. She just figured we'd do kind of a Chasing Rainbow color. Very pretty. I ended up getting 2 skeins of this. Don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I never know when I pick the colors out. I just know that I want them. So these were 2 of the colors that I ended up getting. And then I ended up seeing these 2 out there that I ended up figuring they're going to go together in a project. So these are the next 2 colors that I got. And neither this one is Safety Orange, and then this one doesn't have a name on it. But yeah, so those are my 2 newest sets of colors that I ended up getting. We always have to get a few, but well, they all went down. Okay, I'll get all those later. Okay, so I guess let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing. When I was podcasted last, that weekend I was going to the retreat in Chautauqua, and I do actually have some video. I got there early enough and I was able to video the inside of the we're at the Methodist house, and it's basically a Methodist church with rooms above. Each room has like a little kitchenette in it. You have your own bathroom. There is a community kitchen with a big refrigerator and stove and a table that you can sit and eat at. But like I said, each room has a little fridge, a mini fridge, a microwave, and some dishes and stuff in there if you wanted to just eat in your room, with a full bathroom and So those are nice, and I've got video, and I will show you all of the rooms. Up the stairs, there's an elevator that so the people that can't do stairs can get up and down. There is a nice big room. When you walk in the door is where we all sit. We put chairs. There's couches and chairs and everything, and we pull everything together, and we sit right there and knit and have good conversation. Then the sanctuary where they have the sermons, we pull the tables together, and that's where we all sit and eat together in there. So it's really nice. It was beautiful. They have a really nice front porch, and this year it was so nice. It was almost 70 degrees on Saturday that we were able to sit out on the front porch and knit. It was a very nice day. This is the first time that I've gone that it hasn't been snowing, raining, or just so much snow that you can't walk around, icy and just freezing cold where you wanted to be outside and you wanted to walk around. I got up Saturday morning, and a lot of people had left earlier and gone for walks, but once it got daylight, I was like, well, I'll go for a walk at daylight because I don't like walking around places that I don't know real well in the dark. So I waited till it lightened up, and then I was like, well, I'll go for a walk. And I got a little ways away, well, quite a bit of ways away, and it started raining. And it just was sprinkling, but by the time I walked back, it was full down raining. So I got a little bit wet because it was so warm. I didn't take a coat, and I just had my sweater on, and I was definitely wet, but that's okay. It cleared up later that day. About an hour later, it stopped raining, and it really didn't rain again until way into the evening, and then we had some good thunderstorms. But yeah, it was a nice trip. I had fun. Like I said, I kind of lost my knitting mojo while I was there, but that's okay. It was very relaxing, and I had a fun time just to be able to see what other people were working on, and just to be able to talk to people about knitting and different things like that. Sometimes you just need a day to relax. I mean, if I'm not working, doing my full-time job, I'm sewing, or now I'm playing with my laser machine, and it's just very taxing. And I think my mind just needed to do nothing for a couple of days. And when I got back, I was fully energized, and that's when I figured out some of the stuff on the laser machine and did a bunch of the bags. And I got a renewed energy by going. So it's okay that I didn't get much knitting done. I'm really okay with it. We will get the knitting done. It'll get done when it gets done. Okay. And then, of course, yesterday I said I was at Cornbread Honey for her 11th anniversary for a yarn store. I love her little yarn store there. It's a great community of ladies that come in there, and it was so much fun to go and sit there for the day and have another wonderful, relaxing afternoon to just enjoy. I did get quite a bit of knitting done while I was there, just sitting there talking with everybody, and I haven't been there since January, and it was good to see everybody and to talk to everybody. So, but that is pretty much all I have been up to these last couple of weeks, but hopefully it's not too long a video. Like I said, I will put video of me walking around and showing the inside of the Methodist house where we stay, so you guys can have an idea of what it looks like for those of you who don't go to the retreat and watch the podcast, because I know a lot of you watch the podcast that do go to the retreat, so you already know that, and you can just skip right ahead because you've seen it all. Okay, so I will see you when I see you. You guys have a wonderful day, and thank you so much. Bye.